So, Epstein did not kill himself.
Oh, we're starting with that.
And an executive order is not a law.
And welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast.
Did you know?
And Rusty comes in late. So should we start this over?
Why should we start it over?
I don't know.
4 seconds into greatness.
The greatness. That's right. This is episode 466. This show is brought to you by Primary Arms, VZ Grips, and Walker Defense. In this show, we will be discussing classic review, 22s, 365s, charging handles, and a blue stockman. As you may know, we showcase guns, gear, and anything else you might be interested in. We do our best to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm Chad Wallace, and we have co-hosts tonight of Tony, Rob, Rusty, Tony, and Tony. If you're watching the video, you get it. But if you're not, you might want to check it out. So, sponsor number 1, our friends over at VZ Grips. Let's see. Rusty, you going to read this one for us?
Been manufactured. Yes, I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Ready?
Hit it.
Well, just reading things new for you, ain't it?
VZ Grips been manufacturing handgun grips since 2000. God almighty, you're killing me.
This show's going to be terrible.
Wow, Rusty, you been reading long?
Oh, God, this is great.
So, VZ Grips has been manufacturing handgun grips since 2003. With a reputation for quality, consistency, and innovation, top-tier manufacturers choose VZ Grips. They come in a variety of styles, patterns, colors, and are manufactured from proprietary G10, micarta, carbon fiber, or polymer. Available with varying degrees of textures, VZ offers a wide range of grips for all different firearm types. Made in the USA, VZ gives you the grip you can count on. See, I can't even read tonight. So, featured grip of the week. We've featured this one before.
Dude, we review firearms. We don't write crap.
I actually wrote these, so
We're not so good at reedificationing.
that's the bad part, is I wrote it, so of course. Now, is the 1911 VZ Krell grip. Yes, I know we've talked about this before, but our friends over at VZ Grip now sent me a set. So, if I can get this not in Tony's face, I have a set. And
this is a train wreck. This is worse than Ohio.
Listen, they blend in with Tony's skin.
I know they do. They're kind of they
just disappear.
They're despicable.
They're mocha.
Yeah, they're the
Lord.
I don't know what color they're called, but so they said they did send those.
Kind of like, you don't even need a shirt, Tony. You just like tuck it in your pants and just kind of blend right in.
And speaking of tucking something in your pants, they also sent this, which you can't see because this stupid background of Tony's face. It is their dagger. This one is in like olive colored, but let's see. Yep, it's literally you can't see it. So,
oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah, this is even better than we thought. But
I somehow didn't describe my skin color as olive, but
no, yours is flat dark earth.
Nice.
But
well, that's a new one.
So
hey, I was there for African American. I guess I'll be there when we start being called flat dark earth.
Is that your new Djibouti tone, Tony?
No, flat dark earth American.
I do believe this is probably the best VZ Grips ad. Everybody's going to go buy VZ Grips now. And if they do, you can check out VZ Grips at vzgrips.com. Do not forget
Black Dark American month.
Do not forget to use the code GGR15 for 15% off those handgun and rifle grips at vzgrips.com. So,
I had a dream that flat dark earth little girls and flat dark earth little boys.
Oh. And the sad part is I don't think these guys have been drinking yet. So
we're all going to hell.
Oh, we are still going to hell.
Tony's got his Diet Coke. So
I've been drinking water all afternoon.
Yeah, I got water too. So
you know what fish doing that?
What's wrong with us?
Yeah. So what'd you guys do in firearms?
I'm simple. I was working all weekend, so I didn't do jack squat.
Yeah, that sucks.
I did.
Thanks for the compassion there, Chad.
I had
I love you too,
planned
brother.
on doing some stuff.
Go on.
I had planned on doing some stuff until I ran a knife through my hand, and now I can't grip my gun for about another 5 or 6 days.
Sounds to me like
get the sutures out.
Sounds to me like you need to practice offhand or left-handed or whatever it is. And now Tony's.
Hey, Rusty, can I take out an insurance policy on you? I figured $1 for accidental death. You look like a walking accident to me, man.
Well, he hasn't died yet, so we just need accidents insurance on him. Well, so what was that, Tony?
My daddy.
So, go ahead, guys.
My daddy said you never can kill a turd. You just step on it and it just smushes. So I feel pretty good about myself right now.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So what happened was I went to Heritage Guild and they had SIG Day, SIG Range Day, and the guys from SIG were there, and they broke out the spear, SIG Spear, 13.5 inch, and I got to check it out. I don't know why it's showing like this, but I got to check it out, and it was fun. So the SIG Spear, 7.62 by 51 NATO. Yeah, checking out the folding barrel, how it comes apart, pulls it apart, put it together. Unlike the last time, they had a lot of people there that came to shoot different SIGs, so I didn't jump online, mainly because I have the diversity shoot coming up tomorrow, so I'm like, all right, that's cool. But since we gave the Heritage Guild dates, I gave those dates to the guys from SIG, so hopefully before the end of the year, we'll have SIG show up. And they'll bring the spear with them so we could actually shoot various SIG guns, because I think the MSRP on this thing is almost $3,000.
Well,
so a lot of people. Yeah, well, SIG's not going to be cheap, especially if it's the Army's new gun.
Oh, hell.
Exactly.
And does it come with the gun switch?
This particular one, yeah.
Oh. You got to shoot it?
No, I didn't get to shoot it because they had people on the range. They had 3 different trainers, and they were tagging out, going in and out and running lanes with the people there. And I didn't really want to jump in that,
Well, if they show up your diversity shoots, it'll probably be worth it.
Oh, when they show up at our diversity shoots, I'm going to be advertising that well out. That SIG is going to be there, because I think some people are going to want to go and try, the brand new stuff from SIG. We can probably even get some together and get a poll going on social media, and you guys can tell me what SIG guns you want, and I can let them know, and they can take it into consideration if they want to be bothered with bringing it.
Will yes please be an option?
Well, I tried to lick the gun and tell them it was an FFL transfer, but they wouldn't believe it, just like no one at SHOT Show did. Non-believers.
That's right. So I actually went to the range. I
think it was just because I'm a flat, dark Earthian.
It probably is. I mean, that's what you are. Well, that's how it works. The flat, dark Earthians. So I made it to the range for a little bit. I had a few things I needed to do. It wasn't anything special. Let's see. I got, besides those grips, I did get something in that they contacted us, and I was like, I'll give it a try. It's this little micro, pistol red dot. This one's an RMSC cut. It's from China. It's from this company called Go Wutar, and my guess is that, they either stole somebody's in China, or they make all the other, they're one of the companies that makes all the others, but it's like Shake Awake, red dot, 2MOA red dot. So I'll be mounting that up and seeing if I can destroy it without, falling off a horse or something, which might be a good test for it.
Yeah. Send good old Christopher Reeves over there. See how he handles it.
Well, I got this dagger from VZ Grips, I could like stab it and see if it does anything. And no, it doesn't look like it does anything. But so we'll give that a try and see if it lasts as good as the others. But I was pretty impressed with, I think they're like $120. Shake awake, auto off, all the normal stuff. It does have a bottom mount battery, but for the price, I guess you couldn't really complain. So expect that review sometime in the future. So bandwidth sponsor for this show of Misfits is Patriot Patch Co. Of course, you can join their Patch of the Month Club. You can get these awesome St. Patrick's Day patches or stickers, plus all the other cool stuff they have over there. Definitely check them out. Now, if you want Gun Gear Review t-shirts or Kilt in the Street t-shirts, go to the FRN site or click the merch tab at firearmsinsider.tv. Do check out our affiliates and discounts. Some are affiliates, some are discounts, some are both. So either way, you probably get a better deal than if you just bought it normal. So, Rob, let's see if you can read tonight.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, don't be stupid.
You forgot, don't go stupid places with stupid people.
And do stupid things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo, I feel attacked. What's going on here?
Hey, we're not talking about Flat Darker.
We're talking about the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts who do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And our main topic is going to be sponsored tonight by Walker Defense Research. Walker Defense provides shooters with the finest, most innovative quality tactical accessories and firearm components around. From their Nile grip panels to their Nero muzzle brakes, no details are ever left behind. Only top quality materials are used in the manufacturing process. Together, all of this gives you some of the best firearm performance around. Everything they have to offer is proudly made in the USA. Walker Defense, where American ingenuity meets bleeding edge technology. Shouldn't that be cutting edge technology?
No. It has to do with...
No, they gave it to Rusty, so it's bleeding.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, so Rusty Proof. Okay, and our Walker Defense product of the week is the Blem Titanium BCG.
See,
so I'm assuming that means blemished?
It is, and I've actually... He's actually sent me pictures of some of the Blem stuff, and it's like...
Are you kidding me?
Discolored.
I bought blemish lowers from Spike's Tactical from several guns, and they're fine.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hardly tell unless you know exactly where you're looking.
I mean, a lot of it, something got offset by a millimeter, and they don't like it because that's not quality control. It's like the gun still shoots.
Yeah, and that's how these are. But the deal is they're cheap, but then you still, I tried it, you still actually get the 15% off of the Blem priced anyway. So you can get a pretty good screaming deal on a titanium bolt carry group if that's something you're looking for. And that's part, yeah.
Wait a minute. This is the cost of a Blem?
Yeah, the regular ones are like $350 or something.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. But, yeah. All right.
They do.
That's great. I mean, wait a minute. What is this?
I don't know what you're looking at.
No, because I'm looking at it, right? The Blem titanium bolt carrier group. So that the carrier itself is titanium and the rest of it is DLC coated, right?
Well, no, the titanium is DLC coated. The bolt itself is normal bolt material that's also coated. Now, if you want to know about it, there is a review on the firearmsinsider.tv that I did, I don't know, 6 months ago or so of this. The bolt is nickel boron coated because it's not titanium because it's a bolt. And then, like you said, the carrier, it says, is ion bond diamond-like carbon coated.
Okay, so it's lighter weight than a regular.
Yes.
67% of the mass of traditional steel full of. Okay, wow.
But
I thought it was just like titanium coated, and I was wondering why is this? This is titanium. Never mind. Yeah, it's a deal.
And the thing is you can definitely, when you hold them side by side, you can definitely tell. But I just kind of put it in there because you can get a screaming deal on it if you want something lightweight. It is an M16 carrier design, so if you want to run it in a full auto and have one, you can. So
also, it doesn't have weird cutouts that could be weak spots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with some of the super lightweight ones, and it's like, yeah, but how is this actually going to hold up?
Exactly. So you still get the same bearing surface and everything.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was just coated in like one of those titanium coated ones. No, this is...
No.
All right. Yeah.
So,
and plus, we can get another 15% off on top of this?
You can. At least when I put it in the cart, it worked. So
it's like $45 off. Almost.
Yeah, you're getting a screaming deal on that thing.
So what's our merch code for Patriot Patch Co?
We don't have one for Patriot Patch, but we're talking about Walker Defense, and it is Insider 15 for 15% off at walkerdr.com. So these, the great thing about tonight is the advertisers are getting their money worth.
Oh yeah.
So like we said, that was the main topic sponsor, and the main topic is me. It's not Tony, contrary to the pictures, but it is another one of our sponsor stuff. It is the Primary Arms Classic Series 1-6x24, and I have it here, and that's why I killed the Tony background, is so you can actually see it. So let's get into this. So the Primary Arms Classic Series of optics is their budget or entry level line. Don't stop reading or listening just yet. The Classic Series 1-6 still has a bunch of decent things going for it. The Classic Series has good visual clarity as well as illuminated dot in the center of the reticle. So let's dive deeper into this thing. Since the Primary Arms Classic 1-6 is an entry level scope, it does use the second focal plane reticle. So for anybody that doesn't know, that means the reticle stays the same size throughout the 1-6 power magnification range. Since the Classic 1-6 uses a duplex dot style reticle, this doesn't really affect it much, since you probably won't be using it to range a target at any distance. And something that amazed me on this thing was the optic clarity. And of course, Tony will chime in with, golden age of optics or something like that. But it is an entry-level scope, and everything was real clear, even at the highest magnification, which is 6 power. I've seen entry-level stuff that is not near as clear as this in like a 1-6 or 1-4. So that's a plus. The little 1-6 has a few other notable features. It does run a 30 millimeter tube. That helps get light through the optic. Plus, it's pretty much the industry standard for low power variable optics. Now, the adjustment turrets are capped. This keeps the adjustments from moving or getting changed, out in the field if you bump them or something like that. The caps are decently knurled, make them easy to take on and off, of course. However, the windage and elevation adjustment turrets don't have any marks to line up the turret with the body of the scope. So if you want to go 4 clicks, there's no indication that you actually went the 4 clicks, except feeling it and hearing it. They do put a little movable 0 piece on top of the turrets, but I can't really see what the purpose is since there is no actual mark on there. It just kind of is there. So even though there's no visual reference on 0, the clicks are actually pretty good on this thing. I'd actually go so far as to say they have really good clicks. I don't know if you'll be able to hear them on the mic, but they're pretty good. So it is actually easy to count how many clicks you've moved it. You just kind of have to remember. Each click's half MOA. Is kind of standard, so half inch at 100 yards. Now, you do get a full 120 MOA of adjustment in the scope from one side to the other, which is kind of nice if you have it mounted really high or something like that. Now, the other nice feature on this is the throw lever. It sticks up easily to adjust the magnification. If you're looking, you can kind of see it's there. Probably, I'd say, sticks up a little more than a half inch. But of course, if you don't want it on, you can take it off. So it is removable. and then you just have the standard style adjustment ring. Now, even though I kind of mentioned the reticle, it is one of my favorite aspects of the classic 1-6. It's a duplex dot style, so there's 3 heavy duplex lines, help draw your eyes to the center of the reticle. Then in the center, there's some finer lines that point to the center dot. Center dot's a 2 MOA dot. Does have red illumination if you turn it on. Has 10 settings. Pretty much goes from barely visible to pretty bright. I can say pretty bright because bright sunlight, the dot illumination isn't really visible, but it's a $200 scope, and 90% of the time you'll be able to see the illumination of the center dot. The reticle works great on something like standard AR, where the cartridge shoots pretty flat out to 300 yards. Plus, being a 1-6, at 1x, it's almost like using a red dot. At least there's a dot there for you to use, and it's easy to use. So, I really did like the reticle. I mounted this thing on a standard 16-inch AR in 5.56. I say it works well for close targets. Even at like 3 to 5 yards, it performed respectably. Of course, even though it's got a fast focus eyepiece to adjust the reticle to your eye, when you're shooting that close, the reticle lines itself are a teeny bit fuzzy, but I can't really say anything bad about that because you're literally shooting at 3 yards. Now, you jump up the magnification to 6x, still worked fairly well, moving, I was shooting 200 yards, targets were clear. Getting the right eye box window was a little challenging. With the classic 1-6, you really need to have your eye in the sweet spot of the eye relief. For me, this was the scope's biggest downfall. Had to remind myself that it is an entry-level LPVO, and especially since the glass was so much better than I expected, that's part of the reason I had to remind myself of that. So much so that it was really easy for me to hit. We have 4-inch plates at 200 yards at the range I go to, so they were super easy to hit just with your every off-the-shelf cheap ammo, so if that tells you anything. So if you're looking into trying out an LPVO or just want a budget one, the Primary Arms Classic 1-6x24 is a great place to start. Its reticle is simple to use, and it has great optic clarity for something in the price range. I'd say for the price, you'd be hard-pressed to find something as good. So, for the Firearms Insider Review 8 key points: claim to frame, budget-friendly 1-6 power optic. Target markets, pretty much anybody that wants that style, wants a budget 1-6 or an entry-level 1-6, wants to try one out without spending $500. So, with the features and benefits, we probably went over most of them, but it's a 1-6 magnification range. It has the illuminated duplex dot reticle, which is a 2 MOA dot. Fast focus eyepiece. Of course, it's fog-proof, dust-proof, IP67 rated. It uses 6063 aluminum body with matte black anodized finish. Of course, the integrated magnification lever. It does run a CR2032 battery. It does include lens covers. The eye relief, they say 3.5 inches on low and 3.9 on high. Field of view at 1x is 113 feet at 100 yards and 18.8 feet at 6x. It does weigh 17.21 ounces, and it does have Primary Arms lifetime warranty. So, there's what others are saying. It's just a 5 out of 5 stars for Primary Arms. There is a link from Link's Defense for another review of it. Price point: MSRP is $199.99. Retail is pretty much the same, but if you stick around every so often, Primary Arms has sales on either it or their 12% off everything, basically. So if you need it now, head on over to Primary Arms. The pros of this thing: simple reticle with the red center dot. I do like the 2 MOA center dot. Lifetime warranty. It is clear, and the price. The cons is that narrow eye box and the no marks for turret adjustments. So I gave the thing a 7.5 score of good. So you guys got any questions on this, or should we head on over to something else?
I've got one.
Okay.
So on that standard the reticle, now back in the day, a lot of your hunting scopes that just had that reticle in there, you could range with those. Does that one have like what it is?
Like if it's 30 inches, like a standard 30-30 duplex reticle.
Yeah.
You ask questions.
That's the only one I could come up with.
And I don't remember seeing it anywhere, but it does kind of look like about a 30 MOA.
It's kind of like the old. It reminds me of like the old Bushnell Banner scopes, what it looks like, but I'm not exactly sure.
Right, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm not sure either. I suppose I could contact them and find out.
Yeah, I mean, it's no big deal, but it just hit me, and I was just wondering if that because I know if you put it on a certain magnification at a certain distance,
right, and
it was just size on a certain animal, well, whatever.
Yep.
So.
Yep, I get you. So that was the Primary Arms Classic Series 1 to 6x24 review. So next up, product spotlight and discussion. First up, Wilson Combat WCP 365. MSRP on this is $1,105. And this is essentially Wilson Combat's P365. They do make a few different versions. This is the 365 size, not the XL. So, and they have either version. I think the price is about the same. Of course, it's 9mm. This one's 10 rounds. Barrel length still 3.1. Still 6 inches overall. Sight radius is 4.9. It's 4.3 inches high. It's still 1.1 inches wide. Weighs 18.6 ounces empty and 23 ounces loaded. It runs the Wilson Combat P365 grip module, which is the X-Tac slide with machine bevels in it, front and rear cocking serrations. It's a DLC finish on the slide. So, of course, it does have top serrations on it. Something that, there is something else on it that, of course, it says Wilson Combat on the side. It runs their carry cut, battle sights with red fiber optic front sight, factory SIG slide stop mag release, curved trigger, or you can get for extra an action tuned trigger by Wilson Combat. Comes with 2 magazines. Of course, it has a rail for mounting lights or lasers. You can, of course, get different grip module colors, and options for mounting optics are extra. Either, RMRCC, Hollow Sun 407K, 507K, SIG Romeo 0, or Shield RMSC. If you're looking at a semi-custom, 365, and you don't want to do like all the work yourself or buy all the parts yourself, because, if you're buying a 365 and then you're buying a slide and a barrel and an optic and all this stuff, I get it. I get it. I get the price, and you can say you have a Wilson Combat.
But it's a 365.
Yes.
It's a compact carry gun.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's not like we're going out with a full-size decked out 1911. I have a 365 the same size, and I can buy almost 3 more guns for what I would spend for this.
Yeah, it's like the cost of like two 365s off the shelf.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand it's got, their grip module, which you can buy for what, $80?
Yeah,
I thought.
I think theirs is a little more.
Yeah, but and it has their slide, it has their machining on it. But I mean, honestly, I don't see an extra $500 for their machining, and then you have to add extra money for a trigger. I mean, I don't see it myself, not for a compact carry gun like that, because I've fired thousands of rounds out of my 365 and it runs fantastic. I mean, if that's something that you're into on that size of gun, more power to you. I have no problem with that. Personally, myself, I don't get it, because if I'm going to go with something like that, they could have did something different and throw in 3 or 4 magazines, make it more flared for, the mags to go in. Give me more magazine capacity. Do something, besides just checkering and the putting the lightning cuts and stuff on there, and the machine on the slide.
Yeah, I get you, and really, like I said, if you're looking for something like this, that's great, and it's not like it's out of the price range of a lot of people. I mean, I know you wouldn't buy one. I wouldn't buy one, because that's not I'm one that's going to buy the plain Jane one and then upgrade everything, just because that's the type of person I am. And in the end, it would probably cost just as much. But there's a lot of people out there that want it all. And, you're getting a quality handgun, I'm assuming, because it is a Wilson Combat. And, people don't really ever complain about the Wilson Combats. So, I
you felt like a sucker after spending all that damn money and then realizing your gun ain't that much better than one you could have got from stock. I checked the. All right, so we've already know. I mean, I've stated here multiple times, and anybody that listen, I can't shoot a P365 well.
Yeah, you get a 1 finger grip or something on it.
Yeah, the grip is like 2.5 fingers. It's so thin that I have to really concentrate to shoot this thing okay. So I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the price of this, and I'm like, why would I pay this much money for a Wilson Combat version of this when I can buy a SIG version that's already tricked out? Like, am I doing this for the size? Because I can get the new rose. I mean, the rose color one, that Lena Miklik, or whatever her name is. I really can never get the name pronunciation right. I could buy that. I could buy the larger versions. I could buy the 365 XL Spectre. Like, the entire line of SIG pistols is cheaper than this.
Right.
If I want a P365. And the macro is bigger and I can shoot it better. But if you want this size, why am I spending Wilson Combat money on something Wilson Combat's only doing their version of Pimp My Ride on somebody else's gun?
Yeah, but Tony, you're missing the point. It's Wilson Combat.
But if I want a Wilson Combat, I'm getting what Wilson Combat is known for, which is 1911s or some of their other versions of a 1911. Hey, listen, more power to them. If they can sell it, sell it. But to spend this money, and I looked it up, and it was $65 for a lower from Wilson Combat, I thought. But I'm like, if you like their grip and you like their Starburst grip, I totally understand getting that. But everything else you can get from SIG for less. What, they're coloring?
Yeah, I'm not buying a Ford Fiesta and taking it to Lamborghini and having them trick it out.
Yeah. No, that's not even the same thing. No, it's you go to buy you go to Lamborghini to buy a Ford Fiesta that they've tricked out. Yeah. Instead of you just buying one and tricking it out yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I carry the 365 on a daily basis. I think it's a fantastic gun, bare bones. It's a fantastic firearm. I mean, and I think that I've looked into buying the module from Wilson Combat because I like it. Mm-hmm. But it's the machining. I don't see where I'm getting any advantage out of their machining on the slide because I've run my gun in the rain, the wintertime, wet, and I just don't see that much more advantage out of it.
And there are other manufacturers that make all these parts now. I mean, SIG highlighted them at their SIG range day when they bought a lot of this out. So they had different manufacturers come out and have these things. Look, it's great Wilson Combat makes this, and if you're a Wilson Combat fanboy, cool. But this isn't even like a budget Wilson Combat thing. You know what I mean? It's full Wilson Combat price, but it's still a P365. And if you're carrying it, in my opinion, get the Gray Guns trigger and a regular P365, and then buy another one and get a Gray Guns trigger. And that way, if you ever have to use it in a defensive situation, you have another one that fits the same holsters and take the same magazines that you didn't use for the defensive shoot. I'm just saying, hey, good on you, Wilson Combat, and if you want to buy it, buy it. I'm not going to denigrate them there, but I'm looking at it going, what are you bringing to the table that I can't get from SIG itself? Like, when you look at even their Berettas, you go, okay, their Berettas that they have done work on, the same one that they work with Langdon with. Langdon is a small shop and may have a long wait time. Wilson is a bigger one, and I understand why you buy that Beretta 92 from Wilson Combat. But for the P365, I'm not seeing the same thing.
But if they want to send Tony one so he can get it in other people's hands,
I'll do that all day. I know it'll suck in my hands, but in other people's hands, it'll be great. It's a great gun, and I really think the base model, I don't know. I don't work with it. When I shot the base model of the P320, I didn't like them. And I like the upgraded versions of the P320. P365, I didn't like anything about it until I got the X Macro because it actually fit my hand and I shot it like a laser beam.
Right. So, that was the Wilson Combat WCP 365. Next up, we have a 22. It's the Rock Island Armory TM22.
Pew, pew, pew. It's a 22.
MSRP is $348. Looks like they're about $280 retail. This is their new AR-ish because, you know, it's got a pistol grip that's an AR and it's got like a fixed stock and it's a 18-inch barrel. But it looked pretty cool. Looks pretty light. Let's see. What's it say? It is semi-auto 22. Overall length is like 34 inches. It's like 3 inches wide, but I think some of that's because of the charging handle and stuff like that. Same with the height, 7.88 inches. AR grips, black anodized. They pretty much say it's for recreational shooting, which, you know, I get that because it's kind of one of those things. Let's see. It comes with a 10 round capacity magazine. 2 of them actually. You can get 15s and 25s. They look like they are a proprietary magazine. When I looked at them, I can't remember. They were $30 or somewhere thereabouts. It is threaded half 28. So if you're looking at putting a suppressor or something on it, you can. It does have an M-LOK forend, so you can attach other such things to it. I don't see a weight on it looking at their spec sheet, but I figured it does not look very heavy at all, which I thought was kind of cool. It's just something different out there, you know, so I'll send it over to you guys. I like 22s. They're fun. You know, this not expensive.
I love 22s, but my problem with this one, Chad, proprietary magazine on a 22. My God, make it Ruger 1022 magazines or some of the standard mags that are out there.
The standard 22 AR conversion mags.
Yeah. Don't do this proprietary crap. I hate proprietary magazines on something that shouldn't have a proprietary magazine.
Like a 22. Yeah. That's true.
So I held this at SHOT Show, and I actually interviewed. There was a young guy there at the Rock Island booth, and I actually got a video of him showing it to me. And I held it, and it's slick. It's nice, and I really enjoyed it. They've got it in like camouflage and black and everything. But the magazines, yes, I don't like their proprietary magazines. How when you get the 25 round, I mean, they almost sway back into the foregrip, the forend on it. And another thing I don't get, they have the 18-inch model, the 20-inch model. I don't understand why people are still going and making the barrel lengths this long on these rifles, because what are you gaining out of making an 18 or 20-inch barrel?
Here's my guess. My guess is that this is imported. It's made in the Philippines, right?
No, it's made in Turkey.
Oh, okay.
By D-Ray, DeRay.
Yeah. This is one of their Turkish imports, and I wonder, being a 22, there's all the import restriction. I wonder if they had to put an 18-inch barrel on it to make it the total length to make it importable.
I don't think so,
but I don't know for sure. But that's kind of my guess.
But it's imported by a company. It's made by a company in Turkey called DeRay or D.
Yeah, I know.
DRAE or something to that effect.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But
they've been sold up in Canada for a long time, and then Rock Island is tagged. It's supposed to be designed by Rock Island, manufactured in Turkey by their design, and then sold over here.
Yeah, I get you. Of course, Angela wants to know if they offered in flat dark earth for Tony.
Nice. I'm looking at something like this, and I'm like, hey, cool on them. When you coming from Turkey, maybe something's lost in translation, or maybe it was a design already out there and they just pick the options they want, because that might be the situation. You know what I mean? Like, the Turkish company already has the design, they already have the magazines, and you pick the accessories you want as an outside company. So that might have been what happened. They have a proprietary mag, but it's something they've been running and it works. So they didn't want to get rid of it for a Ruger BX. That might not be that popular where they at. And again, this gun had already been designed prior to that.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Most likely.
That's what I'm thinking. That's the only thing that makes sense, because if you're in the American market with a semi-automatic 22 and you're not using Ruger 1022 magazines, you out your mind.
Or
even CMG mags.
Yeah, the Black Dog Machine 22 conversion ones. The ones that
Because those are only two.
Yep.
For some reason the 18 to 20-inch barrels just kind of that just stuck on me for some reason, because anything over 16-inch, I mean, you're not gaining anything. You can start losing velocity at certain point, because you look at the difference between a 16 and an 18-inch barrel, you're gaining like 15 to 22 ammo, feet per second. You're not gaining that much. And then you go up in barrel length even further, you're actually starting losing velocity on certain ammo.
Yeah.
But understand that a lot of the 1022s had 18-inch barrels.
Yeah.
Like they were standard with 18s.
Yeah.
And then it was a choice between 16 and 20. So, I mean, I know what you're saying, but I don't think that's extremely long, especially because a lot of people were still using them, at least back in the day when I was growing up. They were using them with iron sights. So the longer sight radius was better, and it's a 1022. So the difference in length between a 16-inch 1022 and an 18-inch 1022 was 36 and 38 inches. So it was still small.
Right, and this is still 2 inches shorter. So, who knows? But, I wish them luck. I thought it was kind of cool, except I'm with the proprietary magazines. But like Tony said, I think that's probably because that's how they were. That's probably how they are in Canada, even though they won't be able to get them anymore. So.
And to let a lot of people know, with these Turkish shotguns, if you've been paying attention, you can look at Turkish shotgun, you're like, hey, that looks like the so-and-so that this company makes. And it also looks like the so-and-so that's because that's what companies do. They go there and they go, hi, we want our name on the side of this, and we're going to order 10,000 of them. And these are the features we want it to have. So that's how they do that. So if you see a bunch of some familiar looking guns, that's why.
Yep. And I'm sure that's kind of what it is with the TM22. So that was the Rock Island Armory TM22. Up next, just something out there. Strike Industries is making an ambi charging handle for the SIG P320. MSRP is $40, $39.95. You know, I have one of these in a roundabout way. It's slightly longer. This basically goes in the back. It goes in your back plate, bolts on, and it comes around the slide and gives you a little handle to rack the slide with.
Is it black dark earth?
No, right now you can only get it in black. But I have this here, and this is the long version that comes with their Strike modular chassis, and you can see it, you know, well, I don't know if you can actually see it.
You can't really see it.
I'm trying to, yeah, you can't really see it. It's right here. So, but it sticks back and makes it so that if you need something to help racking the slide, you know, you're not going to put this on a carry gun because, like I said, it sticks out like ½ inch. It would either dig into you or stick out the opposite side. But for a range gun, something like that, or for somebody that's home defense gun that maybe they're using it, you know, they have trouble racking the slide, but not trouble shooting the firearm. Something like this is, I could see working pretty well. You know, and they're cheap, so if you want to try one out, the one on the Strike modular chassis seems to work well. So I'm sure this one's just like I said, it's a little shorter, doesn't extend as far forward because you don't need it with a regular pistol like you do the chassis. But it's out there. So if it's something you need or something you want to try out, you know, check it out. What do you guys think of it?
I'm a hard pass.
Yeah, and you don't need one, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you're having issues racking your pistol, yeah, fine, then good. I could see that. But as far as me using it, well, that thing would rip my tactical muffin top every time I drew the darn thing out of the holster.
Well, yeah, it's not. It wouldn't be for that. Yeah, but that's kind of the thing. And like I said, on the modular chassis they have, it's kind of it's needed because you can't like pull the slide back because there's an optic in your way. But yeah.
I mean, if it was in flat dark earth, Tony could use it to rack his slide.
Hey, the picture they have on their website, of course, is on an FDE SIG 320. So does that help?
Probably.
For Tony. Tony, what do you think about it?
I think it's useful in the circumstances of you need to be able to rack it. Maybe you have a lot of optic on. My whole thing is it's very small. Like, you can learn to rack this unless you have something physically wrong with you. You can learn to rack the slide on most semi-autos. But this is a good addition to the P320 because I think a lot of people purchase them. But if you don't have that, if you don't have an optic on it, that gives you something else. It's a piece of thing that fits a niche, in my opinion.
Yep, I'm with you. And since they made it for something else, I can see why they brought it out.
Yeah,
you know, it's easy, and they'll sell some because it is something useful in the right circumstance.
I'm just thinking about the two ladies I had that personally could use something like this, but we're talking out of, let's just say I have a lot of people come through in the last decade, and out of those, I know 2 that could use this.
Right. I get you. Mm-hmm. So that was the Strike Industries ambi charging handle for the 320. Now, this next thing I put in here for Rusty, because he's bugging me about putting all these fancy new knives in here. And I actually kind of like this one. This is the Case Stockman Blue with G10 handle. MSRP is $91.99. Blade HQ has them for like $77. This is your standard old style, you know, 3-bladed knife. See, and I don't know if Rusty's showing us, I think probably his his other one. I don't know if that's a case, but either way.
Hey, this is the case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And does that one only have two blades?
This is the Trapper model. So
Okay.
it's 2 blades.
Yeah, and this is the Stockman, so it's got 3 blades. I looked up, it's their blade steel, which, they call True Sharp, which I think is equivalent of like 420 HC or something. I looked it up, and they say it's a decent blade for what you get. Now, I put this one in here because this particular one is made in the U.S., so you're not getting some of them are made in China or elsewhere, but I purposely put the made in the U.S. one because, $70 some bucks for that. Let's see specs. Of course, the handle finish is smooth. It does have the clip point, the sheep's foot, and the pen blade. Blade lengths are 2.57, 1.88, and 1.7 inches. It does only weigh 2.6 ounces, so it's not super heavy either. The blades, of course, are mirror polished, and total it's 3.63 inches long. And I did not know this until I saw this, that they make these particular models in so many different colors, bone.
Hundreds.
Yeah, options for what they look like. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, where'd the blue one go that I was going to put in the show notes? And I just got sidetracked and was looking at.
So a little history on these. These blades, these were the original multi-tools of the day. So you got your drop point blade, which was your general open the boxes and packages and stuff up, and then your sheep's foot blade. So a lot of people don't realize they used to trim sheep's hooves with them. That's what they were for.
Yeah, and
the stay blade. That's the one.
To clear
what
out.
What sheep did they shave with the third blade?
Well, you tell us, Tony.
That third blade. You want to tell him, Tony?
So that's splitter. That's
Yes.
what you use to
Castrate.
Castrate. Yeah. So I grew up with these knives, and yeah, my uncle. Sure. Sometimes they just use a straight razor blade. Because you want a sharp, clean, fast cut. And that's what that blade is for.
Yep.
And a lot of guys that did that carried these knives, they hunted and they used these knives to trap with or to field dress their animals because that spay blade would not cut through into the gut of the animal. You could go through and you could skin with them. So that spay blade did a lot of things. And they started calling it surgical steel, which there's no set thing for surgical steel. There's no such thing as surgical steel. There's 320, 420, 400. It's just a stainless steel blade. But you can get it in the S35V, which jacks the price up a lot. And that's what I've got. But a good case knife, I got tons of them. They're great blades. You cannot go wrong with them, with the USA made ones. I've got several very small ones I call my fingernail knives, and I trap with them. That's what I use to clean. That's what I use to clean all my small animals with, and they're all fantastic.
Yeah, I have one that I have no idea where it came from, but it's still kicking around, and it's the 2-blade version like you have. But when I was a kid, these were the common knives. You carried one of these in your pocket out doing whatever. Like
this is the first knife that got taken from me in school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, they were tough in kindergarten.
That's right. And then they gave it to your parents, and your parents told you not to do it again.
Yep.
Because they didn't actually take it from you. They just, so you might have got it back.
You either had a case or a buck knife. And that was your tactical knife because you used it as a screwdriver, you used it as a hunting knife. It was it did everything you wanted it to do.
See, people don't understand, like before Leatherman, you had either the tool you needed or the tool that stood in and you used it also. And these were it, man.
Or the Swiss Army knives.
Or Swiss Army knives, yeah.
And this was kind of more of the outdoorsman Swiss Army knife than a Swiss Army knife. So that is the Case Stockman G10 blue handles. This is the medium-sized one. So they make a small and a large, which, of course, you get the idea. So now,
quick question. Is this stuff coming back? Is that what's going on with this? Is this like some retro thing, or is this just them rolling it out? Because I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's retro, like the Buck 110. Like more and more people are talking about it. What's the fixed blade Buck 115?
Yeah, I can't remember, but
yes, Buck is putting out a lot of good stuff right now. They've added to their blade steel. They're changing their blade steel up because I've got my Buck, actually my Buck 110 Slim in my pocket right now that I did a review on, and Buck has come out with a lot of different stuff, and this has the S35 blade still in it,
right,
if I'm not mistaken, but they're coming out with, everybody's coming out with their newer stuff now. They're bringing out a lot of retro stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead, Rusty.
It's just, not everything has to be tactical. It just has to be purposeful. And I call this a gentleman's knife. It's thin, it's small, and it does everything you need to do, just like the Case knife. It'll do just about anything you need to do.
Now, when you start looking at these Case knives, you start seeing they're made from different materials.
Yep.
And then you start noticing this kind of looks good. Like, nobody's making, like, what people have done is go to deep in the G10, right? That's what they have, the G10. And when you look at Case, now all of a sudden you have different materials. It looks different.
This is jig buckhorn.
Calm down now. What's this?
Yeah, they have
this one.
They have so many different.
It's textured and everything.
Yeah, like this particular one, you can get it in, like I said, the blue, or they have it in red also. But then you can go on to, like Tony said, and I think the retro is coming back, but I think more people are starting to, be like, well, these are useful. I think people like us grew up knowing they were, but there's people that between, then and now that don't understand that because they've always had like thumb opening knives or flippers or assisted opening. And sometimes depending on places they go, if the clip's showing, that's not acceptable, which I think is BS, and so something like this, they just throw in their pocket. If they need to open a box, okay, they take it out and they can't open it as quickly, but it still gets the job done.
It gets the job done. It's a classic knife. It gives you that feeling of, hey, this is pretty cool, especially the nicer ones. So you have this kind of piece of usable pocket jewelry.
Yeah, and
that you can pull out and check out and do stuff with. It's not intimidating to people in an office environment.
Exactly. I was going to say it's PC.
and it's American made. You take care of it. You pass it down to the next generation.
That's right. So that was the Case Stockman. Now, Primary Arms. And our friends at Primary Arms seek to provide you the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from your favorite brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearm parts, and shooting gear. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, fast shipping, and an expert support team. So this week for our Primary Arms product of the week, I put in the Aero Precision M4E1 stripped AR-15 lower. I put the OD green one in. In hindsight, should have put the FDE one in. But you get it. So I just was like, hey, it's something different that we usually don't talk about. I was like, people buy strip lowers all the time. I've had a few and use a few, arrows, and I like them. So there you go. You can sign up for the Primary Arms newsletter and more by going to frn.deal/PA. And of course, if you use the code FRN at Primary Arms, you get something great. But you have to check firearmsradio.net/PA for the latest deal. I do believe it's still the GLX scope with the free mount. So that is that. We don't have any listener feedback. So hopefully this episode is so terrible that we get some next week. But Tony, nice. I know you have something tomorrow, but of course this releases Friday, so...
Well, the sad part is if you didn't make it to this week's diversity shoot, we're going to have one in 2 weeks at Recoil Range, so make it to that one. So, yes, tomorrow we're going to open up the season at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. Slight delay because of me and the stuff I've been doing, and really it's held off the dates until now, so we're about to kick the season off tomorrow. But I also have confirmation for the range we will be at in Lincoln, Nebraska, the second to last week of the week before Memorial Day holiday. We will be at Big Shots Indoor Range in Lincoln, Nebraska for the Midwest Tour Diversity Shoot. Can't wait to see you guys there. When I get solid dates, I'll be giving those out. But yeah, it's going to be awesome sauce, dude. Just getting confirmation for things like that. I'll be talking to somebody out in Colorado and try to get some dates on that. I want to get out there before it gets cold, but I want to space it out enough that we have time to do it, and time to advertise it. So thank you. You can follow me at Second is for Everyone on Facebook. Simon Says Train on Instagram. Second for Everyone on Twitter. I'm going to be working with somebody to get the website up. I just got all my information that I have to give them. And I've started my 501c3 journey with getting a physical address that's going to be for the corporation. So that's what's really going on with me. Also, episode 97 of the Second is for Everyone podcast is complete. Just have to have commercials in it and release it. So hopefully I can get that done tomorrow and start recording the newest episode 98, on the way up to Gun for Hire Range tomorrow for the diversity shoot. So that's what's going on with me. I'd like to thank everybody. Dude, can you believe it? It's 8 years of doing diversity shoots and being on this show talking about them.
So when's the next solstice?
Tomorrow. Come on, dude. It was a 2-week delay. Or 3-week delay. I'm sorry. I've been cranking these suckers out, man. I've made more 2A4E podcasts. I've released more 2A4E podcasts in the first 2 months of this year than the entirety of last year.
Yeah, we know. We know, Tony. So you can send us questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review somewhere. You can check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.net. Don't forget to visit the Firearms Insider at firearmsinsider.tv. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Firearms Insider. Don't forget to check out all our great sponsors. And thank you for listening to the largest pound-for-pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Epstein really did not kill himself.
I thought we discussed this already at the beginning of the show.
Cannot be said enough. Cannot be said enough.